Arsenal Football Club will reportedly push hard to sign €14 million rated Lucas Paqueta. The attacking midfielder from Brazil is said to be higher on the priority list of Mikel Arteta and Edu. A midfielder has been on the agenda for a while now. Tielemans seemingly advanced, bids expected, but they haven't made them. And there's been a big question mark this whole time. Are there other options? Are there other players that Arteta and Arsenal would prefer? Maybe, just maybe, this is it. Now, smash that like button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. Thank you to everyone that's been putting the thank yous in as well and donating to the Terrace. It means a great deal to us. We're going to delve into this story and much, much more. Let's Arsenal pushing hard to sign the €40 million midfielder. These are the reports coming out from across the continent this morning, saying that Arsenal will push to sign Lucas Paqueta this summer, with Lyon preparing to receive an offer for the midfielder. Reports say that Arsenal were determined to sign him, and they are making a concerted effort to do a deal behind the scenes. At this stage, the Gunners are focusing on convincing the player before the official bid to Lyon. The French outlet also report that several other clubs are already made moves for Paqueta. Of course, we know Newcastle reportedly had a bid of around €40 million accepted, but the player has turned down the opportunity, according to sources. Now, Arsenal fans just the other day were talking about this potential mystery signing, a signing from out of the blue that nobody was expecting. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the individual. And the British press have been very quiet on this, the same as the British press are very quiet about Fabio Vieira. And it was the foreign press that caught wind of this first. Now, this may not accelerate with the same speed that Fabio Vieira did, but this has been a player that's kind of had a lot of links to Arsenal over the course of the past 12 months. It's certainly a player that I've seen Arsenal fans speak about with great regularity. But where does he fit into the Arsenal team? What does this mean for Tielemans? Those are some of the big questions here, because Tielemans is a deal that is seemingly done. Tielemans is a deal that is pretty much over that line and is where you want it to be. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say thank you to everybody that signed up to private internet access. It really is a sensible thing to do to secure your data, your personal information from big businesses, from big tech companies, and of course, hackers when you're online. You can scan the QR code on the screen now or use the link in our description below to sign up. I will give you 3 months free when doing so. I know there's about 250 of you so far that have signed up, and the feedback from you has been amazing. So a big thank you to everybody for doing that. Now, what's being said here by a number of other outlets here is Arsenal want to sign Paqueta from Lyon this summer. Edu is working on a deal to bring the Brazilian to the Emirates. There's lots of different stories here. Robin here says that Paqueta is one of the most watchable players in the world. So graceful on the ball, would be a fine addition to Arsenal and the Premier League. Hope Lyon can get a fair value for him. This player is highly rated. This individual is wanted. And it wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility that another Brazilian is on his way to Arsenal. This is a kind of theme with the work that Edu is doing. It's where his relationships lie. He has a great deal of influence within these markets. The big question mark is this, though. And for me, what's really important is looking at heat maps. If you look at the heat map of him and Tielemans, on average, and I'll put it on the screen for you, actually. I'll share the screen and put it up there so you can kind of see what it is that I'm looking at. The starting position isn't that important. He's an attacking midfield player. We all kind of know this already. I don't think that's going to be a surprise to anybody else that he's an attacking midfield player. We know this. I'm not going to try and pull the wall over anybody's eyes. That's what he is. If we look at the heat map here, and we'll put this up onto the screen, on that right-hand side, that is where Paqueta plays. That's where he touches the ball. He influences the game centrally, left, right, predominantly on the right-hand side. Obviously, likes to cut inside onto that left foot. But you can see that's his heat map. That's where he sits. That's what he does. That's the type of individual that he is. What's intriguing is if you then look at Yuri Tielemans. So I'm going to put Yuri Tielemans in there as well now so you can see it. It's slightly different. Okay, there is a deeper, there's a much deeper feel to Yuri Tielemans. If we scroll it up so you can see, again, he covers a wide range of areas, but he stays centrally more. There's a reason that Paqueta's is more spread out because he covers more distance, far more central. So they are different players. There's no doubt about it. So that's the big challenge here, because if this link is to be true, what's the changing system that's going to accommodate it? Who is going to potentially miss out would be the question that I would have as an Arsenal fan. That's what I would want to know. Again, you look at things like players such as Odegaard. Now, Odegaard's an interesting case. His heat map, very dominant on that left-hand side, as an example. You got Fabio Vieira that has, of course, joined the football club. Where will he fit into this mix? So there's quite a few Arsenal fans I've just been sort of following online, listening to what it is that they're saying, and they're a little bit unsure. They're a little bit unsure in terms of where Paqueta would fit in, how he plays in the team. Odegaard is, of course, such an integral part. I can't see that he is being replaced. Now, of course, Paqueta can play central midfield, predominantly plays in an attacking role. But maybe this is more about looking at versatility and rotation. So rather than just, who's going to start in the main 11? Who's going to start in the main 11? Well, it depends on who you're playing and where you're at. It really depends on who you're playing and where you're at as a football team. Because there is the capacity for Arsenal Football Club in many games to play more than one attacking midfield player. Of course there is. Of course there is. One can dominate on the left, one can push out more to the right, as an example. Especially if you're going to play with inverted wingers or inside forwards that want to come in more centrally, having midfield players that can drift out to these wider areas, attacking midfield players can be key. There's also talk, when you look at the fullbacks that Arsenal have, especially on the right-hand side with Tomiyasu, they're not marauding fullbacks that are going to be creative for you. So maybe you need these creative midfield players to work out in those flanks and in those areas. And when you look at Paqueta, when you look at Fabio Vieira, when you look at Odegaard, they have a tendency to drift into wide areas. They start central, but they drift wide. And I've been speaking about this for years now. Your starting position isn't the most integral part of your play. The areas and the territories on the pitch that you dominate and you drift into is a key. So I don't necessarily think this link makes no sense because of other profiles you already have at the football club. Other players are already there. I think this is about Arsenal trying to improve their overall quality. This is about trying to create competition. You've got Europe and the Premier League to contend with this year. And where things have gone wrong for Arsenal in years gone by has been that squad depth. Now, Arsenal are not buying backup players. They need to buy first-team quality players and almost not backfill the squad. They need to, I don't know, would you call it front fill? I don't know. The word isn't front fill, but you get me. You put first-team quality at the front, and then you let, you sort the men from the boys, as it were. And this makes sense because it's a concertinaed season because of the World Cup. Unless they go out early, there's going to be almost 2 games per week for large parts of this campaign. Being able to rotate, having options is going to be absolutely imperative. Plus, there is the 5-sub rule, meaning all of these players are going to get more game time than ever before. The rules of football have changed. So I do think there is capacity for this deal to happen. Now, there's talk of a 40 million euro bid. And in the article I was reading here, it states, I want to read this verbatim. It says here that as well as Arsenal, Newcastle are also in the mix, having already had a 40 million euro offer attempt for the midfielder. But the bid fell through on the basis that Paqueta's unwillingness to move to Newcastle rather than Lyon rejecting the offer. So it is felt that a bid between 40 and 50 million euros should be enough. Now, of course, if more than one club comes in, a club will then raise the valuation of the player to try and create a bidding war. You're seeing this with Lissandro Martinez. We've seen this with Rafinha this summer for a case in point. But this is a very intriguing deal for me. I do get the feeling that I'd be very intrigued to know why Arsenal would focus on this more than Tielemans. I still think they need a slightly deeper midfield player, someone better than Granit Xhaka. And of course, no one knows what's going on right now with the Thomas Partey situation, and we won't speculate on that. We just don't know. So there could be a train of thought at Arsenal just to slow down certain proceedings until that moment in time, because what happens with Thomas Partey may change the transfer window from this point moving forward completely for Arsenal. But as I say, we won't speculate on that because we have no facts or no information on it. But there's certainly a lot of noise, especially coming out of France, for this deal to be pushed forward with. Now, of course, to cover all angles and bases, as we do on the Football Terrace, we're a fan channel. This also just could be an attempt from the likes of Lyon to kind of push Newcastle and whoever, to come back in and increase their bids and to try and create a bit of a bidding war around this. But Arsenal's name has been used. There are some credible journalists and some credible outlets. L'Equipe, as I always say, one of the best outlets in France. These are the individuals that got laughed at for saying Poch had been given a stay of execution till the end of the season back in February. Everybody said they were liars. Turned out that weren't true. They knew he was going, and it's been the case. It's been reported on since by everybody. Oh, he was actually told in February. Well, we know this. The report came out. I don't know why it's a big shock to the world. So L'Equipe are an outlet that I've seen get many, many things right. Of course, things haven't gone the way they're predicted either, because that's the nature of football. But I really do want your thoughts and your feelings on this deal. As a Gooner, if you're watching this, are you excited? Is it something you think, wow, you throw him into the mix and, we could be a real serious team next year from an attacking point of view? Or do you feel like a different type of midfield player is needed? Somebody that's a little bit deeper, someone that's more of a deep line playmaker who dictates the play? Do you need more of a box-to-box style midfielder like a Yuri Tielemans, Premier League proven, right age profile? I want your thoughts and I want your feelings below. Arsenal, though, seemingly not done in this transfer window, looking to push on ahead. Smash that like and that share button. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. See you soon. Thank you.